afternoon, everybody. Well, very nice, very nice. All right, so welcome to all our guests. We have with us some families, some fans, some supporters. We have current students, we have alums, and we have our finalists, of course, our competition finalists, and our judges. So this is a very exciting day, and I feel thrilled to be here with you to share in this. My name is Joyce Strasser, and I have the privilege of serving as Dean of the Stillman School of Business. And today it's my honor to kick off this recognition of your talent and your success. So as you know, today, if you're here as an audience member or as a finalist, you're going to see the best of the best of aspiring high school entrepreneurs. They're going to be pitching their ideas, their creative, innovative ideas, to a distinguished panel of faculty and judges, and competing for up to $50,000 in cash and scholarship awards. So a big day for everybody. Our student finalists started their journey to today's competition by submitting an essay or a short video. How many of you did a video? Just curious. Okay, all right, very good. So a short video which described an innovative product or service that they wish to create or have already created. Their submissions, so the people you're seeing here today, were selected from a total of 320 applications that we received from 22 states in the US and a number of foreign countries. So to our aspiring entrepreneurs, you are amazing young people, and we are honored to have you here today and to be celebrating your achievement. You have that can-do entrepreneurial spirit that is going to help us, not just those immediately around you, but help everyone in your communities and help the world as we struggle with some really serious problems. So we're hoping to see great things from you. We've identified you or tapped you as people with potential, and we know you're going to grow into that for sure. But I wish you all great luck today. And now, let me introduce the folks who have the hardest job of all today, and those are going to be the people sitting in the first row here, our judges. And I am going to ask them, as I introduce them, to please just stand up, turn around, and wave, so you will know who everyone is. So I'm going to begin with Dr. Elizabeth McCrae, dressed in our pirate blue. Congratulations, Elizabeth. So Elizabeth is an associate professor of management and entrepreneurship. She is a champion of transformative, experiential learning in her classes, and she is, in fact, the architect of our business humanities minor, a wonderful minor that brings together the arts and sciences and business. Then we have Victor Gomez. Victor. Victor is a graduate of the Stillman School class of 2017. He is currently the manager of Seton Hall Esports, and an accomplished alumnus who has been instrumental in founding, creating, and growing the university's gaming sector club and our current esports program. And he can tell you that the value of esports in today's sports economy is unbelievable. So hopefully, if you have the chance, you could walk up and see our esports center on the 5th floor. Is it open, Victor? Yeah, so maybe while the judges are deliberating, go up there and take a peek at that. Very impressive. Okay, and now we have another alumna, Juliet Pazer. Juliet. Juliet is a graduate of the class of 2013 and currently the owner of Curated Realty. Juliet was president of the Entrepreneurship Club while she was here at Seton Hall, and under her leadership, the Stillman School also became a founding member of Epsilon Nu Tau, a professional entrepreneurship fraternity. So we're thrilled to have you back, Juliet. Then we have Nick DeHaan. So Nick. Nick is an assistant professor of management who is an exceptional researcher in the areas of strategy and entrepreneurship, and he is currently very involved in the redesign of our entrepreneurship curriculum. So Nick, thank you. I know you'll have a lot of great insights here. Another alumnus now, Paul Sanitti. Paul is the class of 2013, and he is the owner and operator of BGR, Burgers Grilled Right, a restaurant here in South Orange. So if you have a little time after the competition, stop at BGR. It is a favorite of students here on campus, and my family too, because I live in South Orange. So definitely a patron. So thank you for being with us today, Paul. And then finally, Rosemary Stanchik. Rosemary is a double pirate and the 2018 first place winner in this very competition, the Pirates Pitch for high school students. So she's not only serving as a judge today, she's also a guest speaker. So Rosemary will share with you her journey from a high school senior who ran a cake pop baking company. And I had those cake pops during that competition. I remember they're delicious. So I hope you still do that on the side, okay. No, she graduated from that cake pop business, being here in the competition, she came to Seton Hall, started out, earned her BS in biology and a minor in psychology, but then of course came back to the business area and earned her MBA in marketing in 2024. So we're thrilled to have Rosemary with us today. She also was a graduate assistant in the Stillman School in our graduate admissions area and was very helpful in having a positive impact on our recruiting during those years. So Rosemary, I'm gonna invite you up to the podium so you can share your story of success with everybody. And let me just end by saying a couple things. First, I do want to address a question that came up a couple of times. If there are virtual attendees, they can participate in the audience choice competition. So I had that come up. Want to make sure you know that if you have people who are watching from home, they will certainly be able to participate as you will in picking your top finalists. And then the second thing I wanted to say is simply, I really admire the courage and the motivation of every one of the finalists who will be on stage today. This is not an easy thing. This is a big stage, big auditorium, but taking this chance and reaching out for opportunities like this one as you move along, this is gonna make the difference for you in a number of ways. So kudos to you for being involved, for applying, for succeeding in becoming a finalist, and I wish you the very best of luck. So I'm looking forward to seeing some amazing presentations, and with that, I'll invite Rosemary up. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you, Dean Strausser, for the warm welcome. Okay, hi, everyone. Welcome to Seton Hall University. First and foremost, congratulations on making it in the top 10 finalists of the Pirates Pitch competition. This is an incredible accomplishment, and you should be extremely proud of yourselves. The competition was tough, and you truly stood out among many, many talented contenders. My name is Rosemary Stanchak, and I'm a Seton Hall graduate. I earned my Bachelor's of Science in Biology and a minor in Psychology, and I recently completed my MBA in Marketing as well. My journey at Seton Hall began a lot like where you are today. Back in high school, I had a small but growing business and was eager to find opportunities to get guidance, build connections, and figure out how to scale it in a sustainable and profitable way. What started as me making cake pops for a friend's birthday party quickly turned into something much bigger. Before long, I was creating sweet treats for baby showers, engagements, corporate events, communions, sweet 16s, weddings, you name it. My business, Fresh Baked by Rosie, specializes in cake pops and desserts that add a personal and memorable touch to people's most special moments. Speaking of which, after this competition, I need to run home to finish an order for an engagement party that I was up until 4 a.m. working on last night. The baker life never stops. When I first came to Seton Hall for the Pirates Pitch competition, I was a complete bundle of nerves. I was so anxious that I made my poor mom wait outside the auditorium during my presentation because I was terrified of disappointing her. And on top of it, I spilled coffee all over my white shirt on the way here. Thankfully, I had a blazer on and I could just button it up to hide it, but that is why I'm wearing brown today. It was a chaotic start to what became an unforgettable day. And just to be clear to all of you competitors out there, this does not mean you should make your parents wait outside. As I stepped onto this stage, my anxious thoughts began to fade. Looking over at Professor Sherrick and the judges, I could feel their encouragement and support radiating toward me. In that moment, a newfound sense of confidence washed over me, something I had never experienced before. This competition, even before any accolades were awarded, became a defining moment for me. It was then that I realized that the Seton Hall community was one I wanted to be a part of for life. I felt completely at home in an environment where I knew I could thrive. Without hesitation, I applied and accepted my offer when I got in. Since then, I've earned, again, my bachelor's and master's degrees here, and I love Seton Hall so much that I'm certain I'll be back to pursue another graduate degree in time. My brother and sister are also juniors here at the university. The professors and close-knit community are truly what make this university special. Every professor I've had has taken the time to understand me as a student and supported me in ways to fit to how I learn best. I'm especially grateful to Professor Sherrick and the opportunity to participate in the Pirates pitch back in 2018. That experience shaped my academic path and even my future career. The company I work for now, Fusion Health, was a connection I made right here on this stage. The CEO of Fusion, Brian Jakovich, was actually a judge sitting in the front row during my presentation. He wanted to invest in my business, and that connection eventually turned into a job offer when I finished my MBA. Seton Hall creates opportunities like this everywhere. You just need to take advantage of them. Even though my baking business is not my daytime 9-to-5 job, it's still something I pour myself into early mornings, late nights, and weekends. You know how entrepreneurs are. We always have our hands in about 10 different things at once. With that, I want to wish you all the very best of luck today. Stay calm, have fun, and remember, we're here to cheer you on every step of the way. You got this.
Hi, everyone. I'm Susan Sherrick, and I'm the Director of the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and I welcome you all here today. But before I do, Rosemary, I do too remember those cake pops that you baked in blue and white. That was several years ago, but they're very memorable. So I know you still have a great business. Anyway, greetings, everyone. And I'm here to tell you how the contest works, and I'm going to introduce our student MCs as well. You finalists, and congratulations, finalists. It was very tough going. You rose to the top of 320 applications. You were all so motivated. You peppered me with questions during the process as you prepared. I often said to my students, these young people are unbelievable. They have so much passion for entrepreneurship. They're so conscientious. You were collectively a dream group of finalists to work with, and I wish you the best of luck. So anyway, here's what's going on with the contest. You'll each have 5 minutes to present your ideas to the judges. And then Ivan is one of the students over there. Look over here. If you're not sure how much time you have, when 2 minutes, you have 2 minutes, Ivan will be holding up a sign that says 2 minutes. When you have 1 minute, he's going to flip it around and tell you you've got 1 minute. So that should help you keep on time. Thank you. And judges, same thing for you. When you get close to 5 minutes, we'll let you know. Thank you. So after your presentation, the judges will then have 5 minutes for their questions. The contest judges will be looking for creative and innovative thinking about markets, products, and services. Once the presentations are complete, the judges will retire to deliberate while we hold an Audience Choice Award. During the Audience Choice Award, we will ask you all to cast a vote for your favorite finalist via your cell phone functions, okay? And that, as Dean Strauser mentioned, if you're on the live stream, you can certainly vote. The judges, you'll have QR codes will come up and you'll be able to vote through that. And then afterwards, the judges will rejoin us shortly afterwards and will announce the winners. The first place winner receives $2,500 in cash prize and a $10,000 scholarship to Seton Hall University. The second place winner will receive $1,000 cash prize plus a $6,000 scholarship to Seton Hall University. All other finalists receive $4,000 scholarships to Seton Hall. Plus, our Audience Choice Award winner will receive $300. Now, let me please introduce the Stillman students who are assisting us to run today's contest. I'm very proud of them. They're all running their own businesses or are developing business towards launch. Several are winners in the Collegiate Pirates Pitch Contest, which we give out $16,000 in prizes annually, and several have or are currently participating in the National Science Foundation I-Corps Propellus Accelerator Program, in which they earn $1,500 in seed funding awards. Janice Wang, Sid Kapoor, Nick Casbo, Will Martin, and Ivan Sawyer. Will you please all stand up? Thank you. Collectively, these students are amazing, and Sid, I have to point out, who was here last year, he's just selling his business. So that's pretty impressive, and you can ask him about that later if you'd like. Okay? And now I'd like to also say a special thanks to our student entrepreneur, Quinn Culligan, who is here behind me, and she's the center's social media specialist, and she's in charge of the presentations today. Also, a shout out to Victoria Bergdorf, a student entrepreneur who is our photographer and videographer. Now, I would like to invite Janice Wang to the stage to announce the names of our finalists. When Janice finishes, we will start our finalist presentations, and good luck to everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy to announce all of our finalists and excited to announce everyone. So the 10 finalists in order of appearance are Arush Bola, a junior from Edison, New Jersey, attending John P. Stevens High School. Justin Dang, a sophomore from Morganville, New Jersey, attending High Technology High School. Samantha Ferrugia, a senior from Colts Neck, New Jersey, attending St. John Benet High School. And Anna Lau, a junior from Staten Island, New York, attending Staten Island Technical High School. And Morgan McNabb, a senior from Beechwood, New Jersey, attending Toms River South High School. Lucia Montoya Leva, a junior from Berkeley Heights, New Jersey, attending Union County Academy of Information Technology. Jacob Organ, a junior from Park Ridge, New Jersey, attending Park Ridge High School. Hans Patel, a junior from River Edge, New Jersey, attending Bergen County Technical High School. Monica Reyna, a sophomore from Soyoset, New York, attending Chirocho High School. And Logan Raskow, a senior from Waverly, New York, attending Waverly High School. And I just want to wish all the finalists a good luck and wish you all the best.
All right, hello everyone. Really excited to get this competition going. We got some great people here today. So I'd like to go ahead and invite our first contestant, Arush Bola, to the stage to present his business idea, Upright.
All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is about our incredible evolution as human beings. That is, our beginnings as early hominids, then evolving into Neanderthals, and then finally to us, the common people of the modern era. But with the advent of technology, I think only one word fits us the best. The slouchers. That's right. Alongside the advent of technology, which has made our lives so many easier, the reality is that it has made us plastered to screens, and this has prompted horrendous posture. Hey Pirates, my name is Arush Bola. I'm a junior from John P. Stevens High School in Edison, New Jersey, and I present to you Upright, the first and only posture-correcting shirt with embedded sensors that fits seamlessly into your daily life. Now, before I get into specifics of Upright, it's important to understand why this product should exist. What you may know is that incorrect posture can lead to stiffness and joint pain, but what you may not know is that it can lead to mental pain as a result of pressure on your abdomen and your bladder. More than this, it can even lead to heartburn. In an NIH study, it was found that in a 3-month period, 1 in 4 adults were found to have back pain as a result of incorrect posture. And then more critically for me, in a survey of over 600,000 students, it was found that over 50% of them didn't know they had incorrect posture and weren't aware of how to fix it. But this has been an existing problem, so what currently exists to solve it? Well, you have your traditional back brace, and with this, you'll see that they're only really effective when you tighten it to its maximum, but this will be super uncomfortable. Our similar competition involves these stick-on devices, but the real problem there lies in the word stick-on. It's adhesive, it sticks to your back. That's going to be super uncomfortable when you wear other clothing. Upright takes all of these nuances and it combines them. So your comfort has that technological capacity and it's also affordable. So the only thing you have to remember to do in the morning is to wear your clothes, which I'm sure everyone does. At least I hope so. In terms of our design components, like I stated before, we have the structurally sound shirt, but within that, we have a sensor placed right on the top of your spine at the back. Within this sensor, we have an MPO 6050, which is the same gyro and accelerometer you're going to see inside your drones, which is going to track the movements and it's going to set parameters. Alongside this, currently, keep in mind the word currently, I use an Arduino, which has an embedded microcontroller within it, and this will control different outputs, such as with the vibration motor, which when you slouch, it'll send a vibration and you'll stand back up. Alongside this, we have Bluetooth capabilities for our application, and we use a lithium and solar-powered battery. Now, in terms of the way it works, it's simple and fits into 3 steps. First, you stand with the shirt on and you calibrate it standing like this. Then, it'll set parameters. And so when you slouch, it'll send a small vibration and you'll stand right back up. And with this data tracking ability, you'll be able to see it through our application and you'll be able to track your own progress. Now, what's one thing that all pirates care about? That's right, it's money. So let's talk about the money. What I found out was that with my, let's say, rudimentary materials, which I'll get to in a second, our production cost for each unit was quite high, at around $28.40. But as we ramped this up to around 5,000 units and used more feasible components, we saw that the price would dramatically drop down. Even still, I wanted to maintain high profit margins, around 50%, in order to ensure that I would have enough money for operations and research and development. So I stuck around with a price of around $60. And so at scale, it would get all the way up to 84%. Starting off, in order to get ourselves into the market, I wanted to start off with a direct consumer approach to our online website, and then I would expand into these wellness gyms who would buy this in bulk, and also these physical therapy clinics. Now, in terms of my target market, I divided it into 3 parts. First, the primary market, like I discussed before, are these students and professionals who sit long hours at desks, like many of us and you guys. And this would be my primary market. But then I would go all the way over to these, sorry about that. I would go all the way over to these wellness clinics who would buy it in bulk, but I have to get established first. And now it shouldn't be disregarded with this tertiary market, which are these finance, these tech enthusiasts who may not be so open to the idea, but I have to get out to them because that's a super strong market. And then there's also the elderly people, which I'm sure it's obvious why. And so in terms of market size, it is around an 86.5 million person market within the US alone. And this involves K-12 students, this involves college students, and this involves adults working desk jobs. And what you may not know is that it is a $20 to $65 billion corporate wellness market that employers are constantly looking to expand to. With that being said, I want to go back to my note of rudimentary materials. Using the resources I gained from this pitch, I want to be able to evolve from using Arduinos, which aren't necessarily feasible when you think about the larger scheme of things because they're quite expensive, into PCB components and stuff of that sort. And so that's what I want to do through the resources I gained through this competition. With that being said, it's time to stand tall with upright.
First of all, thank you so much. Very, very confident and very, very interesting. My first question is washability. So obviously you've got some electronics in that sense, and so how do people wash the garment?
Yeah, so that was the first thing that my parents argued. They were like, you play so many sports, how would you be able to clean it, right, if it gets dirty? And the simple solution to that would be it's detachable from your back. So like a lot of thermal shirts, what they do is they have these latches, and if it isn't broke, then why fix it? So that's the exact same logic I took. And so I just have latches on the back, which you can take the sensor off and put it back on when you need to.
I loved your presentation. Can you tell me how you would charge this and how long the battery would last, please?
Yeah, so like I said before, it's a lithium battery. And so since it's around a 20-gram piece of equipment, it takes around 4 to 5 hours to charge. And that can be done through a regular charging port. But more importantly, we have solar power. But like I said before, with our profit margins, we have a super high amount available for research and development. So one thing I'm trying to figure out is if we can use body heat, because as humans, we produce a lot of body heat. And so if we're able to do that, we can incorporate that into our product, and that would be such an incredible way to use it.
Great job. My question is related to cost. So you said for 5,000 units, it would come to $9. Does that include all the components, and how come they're so inexpensive? And also, did you include other things like the development of the app and the cloud services to store the user data?
Yeah, so that $9.35 cost is solely off of the actual product, and so operational expenses, I didn't account into that. And the way I determined that $9.35 at 5,000 units was I looked through many large component distributors like InventSense, AliExpress, and Alibaba, and I developed an understanding. And so even with that $9.35 cost, it's also understood that the components purchased in there are much cheaper than with just 10 units, which I wouldn't be able to purchase these cheaper components. Oh, and then with logistics and development, again, that's all covered in under my operations, which I have a huge profit margin for.
Hello. Great job, great energy. One question I had was you mentioned the app, but you kind of breezed over it. I was wondering what metrics are you tracking exactly?
Yeah, so with my actual sensor system, what it's tracking, it's a 6-axis gyrometer, and it tracks basically your location as you move through time. So what it's tracking is daily your different movements, right? How many times you're slouching, and those are the kind of metrics it's trying to track. And so with these metrics, we want to show the users that, one, our product is helpful. So later on, when we have extensions, as we want to make this, the top of the line posture-driven clothing line. And so we want to make sure they know that our product is the best. But beyond this, they should be understanding that they themselves are changing, and this will inflict some sort of, great emotional benefit on these users themselves.
Thank you so much.
This is amazing. Great job, Arush. So I'd like to go ahead and introduce our next finalist, Justin Dang, and his startup, ThermoTrack.
Good afternoon, judges. I'm Justin Dang, and this is ThermoTrack. So let's set the scene. A teenager suddenly collapses in the middle of his high school training. Did he collapse because he wasn't strong enough? No. He collapsed because nobody noticed fast enough. Heat illness is the third leading cause of death among all high school athletes. But unlike concussions or ACL tears, it's completely preventable. But the warning signs often go unnoticed. Adrenaline, the rush of playing, and peer pressure often mask these early warning signals that athletes would normally stop to. Even the most attentive of coaches cannot keep an eye out on every single player at every single second. Existing tools are too slow, too expensive, and too bulky to make a real difference on the field. Just last year, a close friend of mine passed out during a hot summer day during track and field conditioning. This made me realize something. It made me realize that there had to be something I can do about this. Hi, my name is Justin Dang. I'm a sophomore at High Technology High School, and I'm the CEO and founder of ThermoTrack. It's a simple peel and stick adhesive patch that's applied to your forearm or upper arm that changes color based on rising and falling skin temperature. So the way it works is that we utilize a special thermochromic material to change color. So the patch starts out as green when your skin temperature is at a normal level. But as your skin temperature starts to rise to a cautionary degree, that is when the patch will begin to turn yellow. And as your skin temperature continues to rise to a dangerous threshold, that's when the patch will turn red. ThermoTrack provides users with instant, glanceable feedback to act on before it's too late. Lightweight, low cost, and non-invasive, ThermoTrack gives athletes critical minutes that save lives. Now let's talk business. ThermoTrack's target market are going to be high schoolers and high-intensity outdoor programs. And from a revenue strategy perspective, ThermoTrack seeks to utilize a dual sales channel system. Our first sales channel is a business-to-business institutional contract, where we're going to target schools, sports teams, summer camps, all to procure ThermoTrack products in bulk over a multi-year supply agreement. So what does this do for us? This is going to generate recurring revenue and boost economies of scale. Our second sales channel is a direct-to-consumer sales channel where we're going to target students, athletes, coaches, parents, local sports league, and this is to boost margins and brand visibility. Our value proposition is simple. We offer affordable, scalable, real-time heat monitoring that reduces risk and provides higher margins and bigger brand reach. Now, what about our competition? Our current competition, like traditional thermometers or core wearables, are too expensive, slow, or bulky. Over $300, requiring phone charging or syncing, and often being too bulky to be worn in games. ThermoTrack sets a new standard through 3 strategic pillars. The first pillar is instant visual feedback. No need for phone syncing, charging, lag, any of that. Just a simple color change. Our second pillar, affordability and scalability. Through our dual sales channel model, we can ensure low unit costs while maximizing penetration across our TAM. Our third pillar is versatility and safety. ThermoTrack's skin-safe, non-toxic design it works perfectly for construction workers, athletes, campers, and so many more. These 3 pillars provide ThermoTrack with the competitive edge needed to capture large amounts of the SAM and SOM while maintaining strong unit economics. Now let's take a look at our financial model. Thermotrack's financial model supports light capital, scalable growth through outsourced manufacturing and digital distribution. Recurring institutional revenue stabilizes cash flow while volume efficiencies expand margins. With Thermotrack, we don't wait for symptoms. We act before it's too late. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, so first of all, great energy, great job. Quick question, since it is going to be happening in outside hot environments, how does the material know it's not the sun or the gear versus body temp?
So the way it works is that there's going to be a plastic adhesive film that's on your skin, and then the thermochromic ink is closer to your skin, and then there's going to be a secondary layer of plastic film that will stop sunlight, sweat, dirt, grime, any of that from interfering with the results.
Congratulations, you did a great job. And I love the fact that it's a low-tech solution. And these days it seems like everybody's throwing technology at everything.
Yeah.
But with that said, it still has intellectual property embedded in it. So how are you going to keep other competitors, other companies from just copying what you're doing?
So that was an issue that I encountered during this. I actually wanted to work towards like a patent pending. Actually, my mother's a licensing manager, so she said she could help me with that. But with this competition in such a short notice, I couldn't like submit a patent in time, so I just decided to, talk about it. Any other questions?
Your presentation was great as well. Do you have a special type of adhesive so it stays on during sweat, like the sweat process and the heat process?
Yeah, good question. It's pretty simple. It's just most adhesives already stay on through sweat. Like those, I think a good example are those waterproof Band-Aids, because once you stick them on, it's just the like vinyl adhesive. It doesn't really come off really unless you rip it off.
Great job, by the way. I have a question about where exactly you should be putting it. I know you showed it on your arm, but some athletes like wearing things like Under Armour or other things. Would it be able to be used on other areas of the skin that's accessible and can be seen?
Yeah, so great question. So the way that my product works is that it was calibrated through physiological research, and skin temperature is actually different from the core temperature. And so the reason I chose the forearm and upper arm is because it's actually the most stable like skin temperature areas on the body. So like if you think about it, like the skin temperature of like your underarm would be extremely different from the skin temperature of your forearm. So it's just because it's such a specific calibration that it has to be on like a specific part of the body. Any other questions?
I'm just wondering, my unsafe temperature, body temperature, might be different from your unsafe body temperature. So how do you account for the variance across people?
So there actually just isn't much variance across humans for like dangerous skin temperatures, because like it's just like, because we're all like the same species, right? So it's like around 37 degrees Celsius on the skin, or 37.5 into 38 degrees Celsius is like a general dangerous threshold. And another thing is that because the color changing is in a gradient, so it goes green, yellow, red, and it gradually fades into it. So it's not like the second you pass this threshold, the patch instantly turns yellow. It's more like once you see it coming from green to like more intense colors, that's when you're sort of warning yourself to maybe step off the field. Are we good on time? Okay. Of course.
All right, it was an amazing job. I'd like to go ahead and introduce Samantha Ferrugia and her startup, Shield Her.
Hello, judges. My name is Samantha Ferrugia, and I'm here to promote Shield Her, beauty with a purpose, protection with a touch. 90% of drink spiking goes unreported. Drink spiking is a terrifying reality, especially for female college students who just want to enjoy a night out without fear. Statistically, 70% of females 18 to 24 have either witnessed or experienced drink spiking, with over 51% of females across the nation affected each year. After speaking with students and lawyers, it's clear change is not just wanted, it's needed. Many of these cases go unreported to law enforcement for a number of reasons: lack of memory, embarrassment, or being stigmatized from the New Jersey prosecutor. So I'm here to promote Shield Her. We are a company dedicated to protecting women by selling a discreet nail polish top coat that changes color on contact with drugs like ketamine, cocaine, GHB, or scopolamine, and it provides instant, non-toxic detection. Our competitors, other top coat brands like OPI, they have products focused on beauty. Meanwhile, at our company, we offer products based on beauty and combine it with safety, leaving protection right at your fingertips. Other competitors like Spiky for drink spiking, they take too long to do and have results too fast. Meanwhile, with our products, you're able to have results in a matter of seconds. So how it works is you have your drink and you have your nails. You can apply the top coat to any one of your nails, or just one if you want. You dip your nail in the drink, take it out after a couple seconds, dry it with the napkin that the drink comes with, or a towel, anything. And if you see in this picture right here that your nail is starting to change in about 15, 20 seconds, then you guessed it, your drink has been spiked. If not, then you can keep on partying. Our audience and marketing, we are targeting females aged 18 to 35, and this includes daughters, sisters, students, females, women. We plan to partner with influencers. Already we are in contact with Alex Earl, and we also work with a chemist from L'Oreal. And we plan on working with the organization It's On Us, which is an organization that is combating campus sexual assault. Our TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram pages will feature product demos, safety stories, influencer testimonials, and influencer testimonials. And our slogan, obviously, beauty with a purpose, protection with a touch, blends our mission to encapsulate confidence, empowerment, and most of all, safety. Our market segmentation. Our total addressable market is about, $24.73 billion. Our serviceable addressable market is $3.58 billion, and our serviceable obtainable market is $1.83 billion. Now, the science behind the protection and chemistry. Our top coat is comprised of a 60% base formula, which provides the foundational film that adheres to nails, offering both structure and gloss. 20% microencapsulated reagents, which contain active ingredients inside tiny capsules that change on contact with certain chemicals, like the ones I listed before. 10% polymer stabilizers, which enhance the polish's durability and flexibility, and 10% solvents and additives, which, which dissolve other components for uniform application and evaporate post-application, leaving that solid film. Our products are manufactured in the US, ensuring both quality and avoiding tariff fluctuations. Our manufacturer is Diamond Cosmetics, and we plan, with fixed warehouse and shipping cost, we plan to sell directly to consumers through social media promos, expanding later to wholesale and later retail. Our pricing is a little competitive compared to other top coats, and that's because we have the safety aspect of it. We're selling at retail at $15.99. Costs about $10 to make, and if 50,000 units are sold, we are projecting at least $1 million or more. By 2026, we will have our patent. We are getting it patent pending. 2027, introducing the product into market. 2028, retail. And 2029 on, innovation, expanding our product line. At Shielter, we believe safety should never be sacrificed for style. Our mission is simple: empower women to protect themselves. So sharks, or judges, I am asking for $50,000 for 25% of my company. This will cover research and development, manufacturing, legal and business operations, most of all, business mentorship. So I have one final question for you. Are you ready to promote the safety and well-being of women across the country, one polished nail at a time with Shielter? Thank you. Any questions?
Amazing presentation, great energy. First question though, are you currently in production? How far along is this?
So I am working with a chemist from L'Oreal on this, as well as chemists from my high school. Frank Plattis is one of them. And we've been testing it for a while now. I'm working with a lawyer right now, his name's Ryan Tetro, to get a patent on this. And we will be able to have it till next year probably.
So have you tried that chemical formula and
tried
the chemical formula that you have created there and painted it on nails?
Yeah, we have all that, yeah.
Okay, and you said you reached out to Alex Earl.
Yeah, Alex
Earl. Did you hear back?
We did hear back.
You did hear back?
Yes.
Okay.
And she actually really liked our product, and she definitely was willing to get involved in it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. Great job. I would say definitely moving forward, the influencer market, especially someone like Alex Earl and just her branding, her personal brand, that's definitely the realm you want to be in, so keep moving forward in that direction.
Thank you so much.
I think this is such a cool and important idea. Are you sure though that they only have powder competition? Did you look at any other competition? And then second question I had was, are you also looking to see if you can test against fentanyl or those type to, spread out the product line?
So yeah, first question was that, yeah, I've looked at other products besides the powdered one. There was one where they had a lid and a covering you could put on the lid. But it's after 5 or so drinks, do you really want to keep putting the same lid back on each time? Meanwhile, our products, you're able to just dip it in, and it'll stay on for how many number of drinks. But second question was, can you repeat the second question again? I'm sorry. We are working on more, expanding that more and making more products like that, yeah.
So any technology that's meant to detect the risk is that it's a wrong detection, that there's a false positive, that it changes color, but there is actually no spiking. So have you done enough tests to be able to measure how accurate the detection is?
We've been definitely testing this for over a year now. It's been in making whatever, but yeah, we've tested it a lot of times. We even tested on water, where you're able to put it in water and see if it's if it comes off in the water. But we tested it to make sure that after 5 or so drinks, you have to apply it again, and that's just for an alcoholic drink. If it's just with water, then it stays on for longer. It depends on what kind of drink, Yeah. Any other questions?
So my question is a little bit different. Have you actually done market testing about how women feel about sticking their finger in their drink? Because to me, it seems very unsanitary and kind of gross.
Yeah, we've definitely, obviously people have asked about it. And what I say to that is, really, you have it right there. And are you really, like, wash your hands, like, come on, but definitely I could see, like, the unsanitary, like, aspect of it, and, like, that's all for you, and I, like, fully. But I say to that, like, wouldn't you rather have, like, something, like, right there with you instead of having to, like, take out a whole packet or, like, having to do, like, an actual, like, full-on, like, thing? Meanwhile, would you have it, like, right there with you? Any other questions?
Got one more, sorry. So a lot of the images you showed were nail polish underneath this top coat. Have you tested with just regular nail polish that you paint on, it air dries? Have you tested with gel polish as well? Because someone like me, if I have like gel on, because I'm germaphobe and I wash my hands 150 times a day, so I can't like wear regular polish or it'll come off in 5 seconds. So I was wondering if you tested with gel.
Yeah, we've tested with gel, we've tested with everything, yeah. But yeah, we just like put the top coat on. It'll like how I said, it'll stay with you for like an X amount of drinks, and it'll stay with you like it'll like beyond like water. Like if it rains out, if you keep washing your hands, then it won't immediately come off. But after like a certain like amount, then like yes. But yeah, we have tested on gel. We tested almost everything. Yeah. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Do you think you're going to be able to make it last? Like I'm thinking myself in college, like maybe on Thursday night I'd put it on and forget by Saturday. Do you have like a way to make it last longer?
Yeah, we're testing it out to see like how long it can last. But I'd say like if you leave it on and you forget, like you didn't even tip your like finger, if you forget entirely to like take it off, it usually we're working on like a remover for it as well if you like forget. But yeah, that's also just in the making as well. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Ivan Soria, and I'll be introducing the next finalists. Now I would like to introduce Anna Lua and her business concept, Snug She.
Good afternoon, judges. My name is Anna Lau, and I'm the CEO and founder of Snugshi. Picture this. In 2023, a young girl's microwavable, heated stuffed animal caught on fire, just before she was able to place on her stomach. Now, let's just begin to imagine how absolutely ironic it is that a stuffed animal intended to comfort and soothe ended up burning through her bed instead. How can we, as business owners, be offering these quote-unquote solutions like this that are actually unsafe to the everyday consumer? That's why at Snugshi, we aim to bridge the gap between innovation, portability, and practicality through our stuff friends that help relieve your period cramps on the go. Currently, our competitors have two main issues. Their designs are not safe nor practical, with tedious wires and temporary heating solutions. Some use microwavable heating pads, but these cool down after just 30 minutes and can even be unsafe as we've seen previously. Others use wired options, but these are not rechargeable and oftentimes force the consumer to stay put to just one particular area, and that is not practical for everyday use. And that's where Snugshy comes in. Our Stuff Friends are fully rechargeable, with just a simple use of a USB-C wire. Simply plug and unplug on the go to take your heated friend with you anytime, anywhere. Compared to the rest of our competitors, our battery life is substantial. On just a 5-hour charge, our Stuff Friends last up to 3 hours. Judges, that's nearly a 500% increase compared to the most popular competitors on the market. As for our market share, we'll be focusing in on the 8,900 female public high school students on Staten Island, New York for our first year in business. We'll be reaching them through our 3 fundraiser events at several local schools in March and April of 2026. And in the fall and the winter, we'll be having 2 small business vendor pop-up events in New York City at the end of the year. At Snugshy, a major part of our mission is to empower young women. And that's exactly why we've decided to collaborate with the Girls Learn International chapter at Staten Island Tech, my very own high school, to donate 10% of all proceeds back into like-minded organizations, such as the PAD Project, which focus on making sure that every girl in this nation has access to free menstrual health care. Because access to free menstrual health care should be a right, not a privilege. In continuation with our movement to empower young women, we've decided to do exactly that when it comes to our marketing strategy. We're partnering with micro-influencers so that as they grow their personal brands and audience, we can grow as a brand with them. And in doing this, we hope to be able to create a community of young women who uplift and support one another. Currently, we've already secured partnerships with various micro-influencers who are more than excited to begin starting to market with us. Together, they've reached over 1 million users worldwide through their respective online platforms. And by sharing this online platform with them, we'll be able to work towards our long-term goal of expanding to retail. Alongside a local business mentor, we've been actively scheduling meetings with various major retailers throughout the nation to bring the Snugshy mission and products to them. We've also begun the product production phase, discussing ordering samples and beginning custom heating technology, which we seek to patent in the future. We'll be selling each one of our Stuff Friends for $46.99, and after deducting the supply and labor costs of $17.60, we'll have a gross profit of $29.39 per Stuff Friend, which is nearly a 63% profit margin. We project that we'll be able to sell 655 of our Stuff Friends by the end of next year. If just 1% of the students at each fundraiser event and just 0.05% of our influencers' audience make a purchase, this number can be easily fulfilled. We are also more than excited to announce that we are officially registered with an LLC with the New York State region. Alongside the Staten Island Business Development Center in the summer, I've been able to successfully secure all paperwork and publications needed for this to happen, and I'm fully committed to bringing Snugshy to its next steps. Judges, Snugshy is not just an investment in our products. It's an investment in the woman that we actively seek out to help. Because whether it be to better your own health or improve that time of month for your loved ones, we at Snugshy have got your back as the future generation of stuffed animals. We pride ourselves in being a pioneer of change in the women's menstrual health care industry. So please, join us in our mission of making cuddles for cramps a reality for women all over the world. Thank you. Any questions?
So first of all, great presentation. Love the little Snuggie. My question is, you mentioned many influencers. How many influencers is that currently?
Yeah,
and where
so
are
thank
you
you.
looking to get to?
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. So currently, we've already secured 3 partnerships with micro-influencers, but we plan to expand to more through outreach as well as through network connections. Any other questions?
Great job. You mentioned about the safety, you mentioned catching fire and so on and so forth with other products. So how exactly does it work so that won't happen, and how does the whole concept work of not overheating or anything like that?
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. So currently, alongside my local business mentor, he's currently a person who is working in the toy industry. So I was connected with him through the Staten Island Chamber of Commerce. And so he has access to manufacturers who are able to do this testing regulation to make sure that it won't overheat. And so that's being done overseas. And we're also looking into options domestically, which would be a bit more expensive. However, the COGS price that I did give in my presentation is already with an inflated tariff price just to account for that. So we're giving the maximum amount, the maximum amount of money that we could be spending on COGS. Any other questions?
Great job, thank you. My question is, you mentioned that there already exist the microwavable items. How much do they retail for, those products?
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. So it's honestly dependent on size. Most of the time, even for a product that's around this big, it's around $34.99 and they go up to $39.99. So for our products that don't have temporary relief solutions and are way bigger, then our products standing at $46.99 is a very comparable price compared to that.
Yeah, because on first blush, it kind of seemed a little expensive, but
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, great job, great energy, love the confidence. Is that a working prototype right there?
Yes, it is. So I could actually heat it up for you right now if you would like.
Okay, can you see it?
Yes. So for this prototype, because it's just an initial one, the heating is not the strongest unless you place it directly on your skin. You'll still be able to feel it. Sorry, I'm just waiting for it to warm up. You can still feel it on your clothes, but realistically, it does work better if it's on directly onto your skin. Sorry, any other questions while I wait for it to heat up?
That's a really cute idea. I love it. How long does it take to heat up? How long does...
Thank you so much.
Hello, I would now like to introduce Morgan McNabb and her business concept, Safeguard Band.
Good afternoon. My name is Morgan McNabb. I'm a senior at Toms River High School South, and I'm a former restaurant hostess. Today, I would like to present to you my product, the Safeguard Bracelet. Restaurants. Whether it's birthday brunch or a Friday night dinner, we spend so much of our time dining outside of the house. But what happens when our food is contaminated? What happens if it gets us sick? Or worse, what happens if it kills us? That's a concern of 15 million Americans affected by moderate to severe food allergies. This accounts for over 30,000 emergency room visits every year, and it leads to between 150 and 200 deaths annually. Mitigation is possible, but it's very expensive. Without insurance, an emergency injector can cost upwards of $750, and the average person with allergies will spend $15,000 a year mitigating their food allergies. One current solution is to wear a medical ID bracelet, but looking at the ones behind me, there are many flaws. First of all, metal and rubber are uncomfortable materials. It makes the bracelet feel like a chore to wear. In addition, they're made for utility and not fashion. They're not aesthetically appealing, and they're not very pretty to wear. They're overpriced, and they're single use. Allergies are dynamic, and once these bracelets are created, they cannot be changed. What is there to do about this issue? They don't mitigate the problem, they only solve it after an emergency already occurs. I bring you the Safeguard Band. The Safeguard Band is a smart medical ID bracelet that uses a QR code to transmit your allergy information directly to restaurant kitchens. It comes in 9 different color combinations and fabric and silicone styles, so you can choose how your bracelet looks. The best part is that using the QR code, it can communicate directly with restaurant kitchens, sending them your emergency contact information and your table number along with your allergy information and dietary restrictions. This means that you can dine worry-free. By scanning the bracelet with your phone, it'll bring you to your personal profile on the website where you can add all of your information. There are 3 main methods of purchase that you can use. You can use the official Safeguard website, and it's also available through pharmacies and healthcare supply retailers. I also hope to become an affiliate with healthcare providers in the United States, such as pediatricians, emergency responders, and doctors' offices. There's a primary and a secondary target market for this product. My primary target market includes people with allergies and the parents of children with allergies. These are the people who are most at risk of food allergy exposure. My secondary market includes restaurants, school cafeterias, and point-of-sale software systems. For software systems, the incentive would be a 33% stipend of the $60 a month fee. Restaurants would be encouraged to purchase this due to the mitigation of liability and the limit of confusion in the restaurant chaos. As for the cost, Safeguard bands in both materials cost a little under $10 to create, and those retail for a 250% markup at $34. One QR reader or scanner for the restaurant costs a one-time fee of $65, and the point-of-sale software costs a subscription to the restaurant of $60 per month. There are mainly 2 competitors in this market. There's the Medical Alert bracelet, which uses a QR code, but it doesn't link to anything. It's only your online profile. There's no restaurant integration, it's not visually appealing, and it'll shut down if you're not paying an expensive monthly subscription called the Protection Plan. Another competitor is Lauren's Hope. It looks very nice, but it's too discreet for paramedics. It also doesn't integrate into restaurants, and it can't be edited like a QR bracelet can. There's a long road to complete mitigation of food allergies, but we can take one step closer by clearing our plates with Safeguard. Thank you. Any questions?
A great presentation, love the idea. One issue might be that you need buy-in from the restaurants. So have you been talking to restaurants? Do they seem amenable to paying $60 per month?
Well, I worked at a restaurant for a summer, so I am very familiar with the point-of-sale software. As for prices for point-of-sales, they can range into the $100 and the $200. So for integration software of this kind, a $60 fee is pretty minimal compared to other integration.
Great job. I could probably talk to you for hours, since I own 2 restaurants myself. Have you worked with any POS companies yet, like Toast or Micros or something along those lines, about how it could integrate and how it could work as a whole? Have you had a chance to do that yet?
I have not had a chance to do that yet, as I am still in the prototype creation phase, but I do hope to get into contact with a program like Toast and see how that would integrate. I would especially love it if I could integrate into Grubhub and DoorDash as well and provide security codes there.
Okay, I'm gonna let everyone else, because I have like a million questions.
Keep asking them.
I was gonna say, this is my field. Has there ever been a considerate of a liability situation if something were to go wrong, for instance, whether it was passed to the restaurant or not, if there was a miscommunication or if there's an issue? Because when you're dealing with food allergies, as you know, it's very serious. So is there any concern about if there's a glitch or something doesn't go through, or who's responsible, if something goes wrong?
Ultimately, liability is the strongest without the restaurant having this product at all. Safeguard is made to make things concise and clear for restaurants. So that means less mistakes and less legal fees in consequence. So the restaurant in any situation would be responsible, especially if that is communicated, but the risk of miscommunication is very minimal with Safeguard compared to those who don't use it.
Great job as a baker, and I have clients all the time. One of my main questions to them when I first get a call or a message requesting anything is, what are your food allergies? Because that is extremely serious. It's a life or death situation. One question I did have was, this is patient health information. Is there any courses, HIPAA courses these restaurants will have to go through, because they're gonna get not millions, but numerous numbers of scans, and they're gonna be having all of this data coming in that's patient related. So I was wondering if you had thought that through.
Yes, absolutely. In every restaurant situation, there's a lot of HIPAA training that is required to make sure that people's data is protected in any situation. In restaurants, that doesn't usually apply to medical information. So my thought process there is that servers within the restaurant would receive at least basic training in HIPAA, so they're able to keep that information secret. Any more questions? Thank you so much.
I would now like to introduce Lucia Montoya Leyva and her business idea, NeuroNav.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lucia Montoya Leyva, founder of NeuroNav, and I'm currently a high school junior at Union County Academy for Information Technology. My inspiration for NeuroNav began very close to home, starting with my younger brother, Jose. Around 2 years ago, when my brother was in 5th grade, the school was holding parent-teacher conferences. And the feedback my parents usually received from these conferences was, "Your son is smart and bright, but he needs to pay attention, fix his behavior, and follow direction." Going into this, they were hoping for a completely different response, and they did get one. His teacher actually suggested getting him evaluated for attention deficit disorder. It was after hearing this that my parents decided to go act towards getting the help my brother needed. And so, he was diagnosed with ADHD, specifically inattentiveness. My parents and his pediatrician looked at various options for treatment for him and decided the best course of action was medicine. Thus, he was prescribed methylphenidate, a dopamine-regulating drug. which would in turn help him improve his focus and concentration in school. And while this did help him in school, it also led to certain side effects, such as loss of appetite and difficulty falling asleep at night, insomnia. And after watching my brother struggle and going through all this, I wondered, why can't we achieve drug delivery directly to the part of the brain that needs it? And through this question, NeuroNav was born. As I began researching brain treatments, I discovered one of the most devastating neurological diseases, glioblastoma, a fast-growing brain cancer that affects over 14,000 patients each year within the US. And according to American Society of Clinical Oncology, this number is to increase by 72% within the coming years. Current treatments, such as surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy, struggle to deliver these effective doses. And thus, as a result, only a fraction of this medication is actually delivered to the tumor sites, leaving patients, families, and hospitals dissatisfied with the limited tools they have to fight this cancer. But to address this, NeuroNav has created a micro-robot targeted drug delivery system that will help navigate to the tumor site and release therapy exactly where it is needed. Unlike standard chemotherapy and radiation, which expose the entire body to these toxic drugs, and unlike large surgical machines that require invasive procedure and long recovery times, our magnetic, biodegradable microrobots can cross the blood-brain barrier safely, minimize damage done to healthy cells, mitigate systemic effects, and uniquely collect real-time data, offering doctors with faster and smarter insights. Here is a model of a microrobot that I put together with all of the different components of it, as well as how it would move. But what's not included in this is the administration of it. In order for this to be administered, it would go through an injection within the human system. But now introducing our unfair advantage. These are currently in research development labs, and there's been a lot of research done on it. However, none have been clinically deployed in healthcare settings. So what this means for us is that we can lead this frontier before the market gets too saturated. Additionally, I'm supported by my primary advisor, my father, a biomedical engineer from RPI with extensive experience in medical device systems. His guidance ensures our work is grounded in real-world feasibility, practicality, and safetiness. Now, what are the benefits of our technology? The benefits of our technology is that it lowers costs, meaning fewer repeated procedures for the patient, and it lowers costs as well for the hospitals. In addition to that, it also provides precise delivery treatment and mitigates systemic effects for the body overall, and faster patient recovery time. To put this into clinical practice, we have created a revenue model designed for accessibility and scalability. We propose generating revenue through partnerships with hospitals, healthcare systems, and medical specialized clinical centers. Our revenue model consists of per unit sales for single-use procedures, bulk purchase sales and agreements for larger healthcare systems, and a subscription-based robotics as a service model for smaller specialized clinics. This flexible pricing structure allows us to meet a bunch of healthcare providers and a variety of them, allowing them to treat as many patients as possible. And while NeuroNav's first mission is targeting brain cancer, my long-term vision remains deeply personal. As our technology matures and our business scales, I hope to expand it to other neurological diseases such as ADHD, and Parkinson's disease. Sorry. Oh, okay. Thank you.
First of all, nice job keeping your poise when the technology was giving you a hard time, so nice job. My question relates to the technology. Usually technologies like this need to go through FDA the approval process. So what's your timeline for that, and how do you expect that process to go?
So right now, I was actually reading about this a couple of days ago. It's an FDA C3 class model, so it has to obviously go through more research and development. But from what timelines have said online, this should take about like a couple of months to 2 years potentially in order for this model to come out, because there's been a lot of research done on this, but within university labs, but it hasn't necessarily been deployed out in the market yet, and there's been clinical trials done on this as well.
So great work. I used to work in this a little bit, so one of the questions that I have for you is, are you planning to make this technology yourself? Are you getting in onboarding technology that already exists? And if so, how does it work in terms of A, battery life, B, retrieval? Because the use of this technology, amazingly, is that you could reuse it, right? So how does retrieval work? How does it get powered, et cetera?
So as I mentioned in my presentation, this is biodegradable, so it's going to safely exit the body, because in my model that I showed on there, I don't know if anybody saw it, but there's a polymer that we're going to use, and this polymer will be coated on the robot called PLGA, which has been used for a very long time and is known to be biodegradable and biocompatible. So that's how we think they would safely exit the body, and we would just inject more in the human system in order to deliver more drugs. Any other questions?
My name is Nicholas Casbo. I would like to introduce Jacob Organ and his business concept, Dry Socks.
Hello, judges. My name is Jacob Organ. I'm a junior at Park Ridge High School. So today, while we're all wearing our fancy shoes and heels, most high school students like myself and college students like to wear slides and Crocs on an everyday basis. Sometimes the weather is not always permitting, and that is why I created Dry Socks. Dry Socks are made to keep your feet dry and warm in conditions when you still want to remain to wear open-toe shoes. The first question I had to ask myself is, what is the purpose of my product? The first purpose is to satisfy a waterproof need. Other waterproof socks are reliant on dry wicking, which does not 100% eliminate water from passing through the body of the sock. The second purpose was to be comfortable enough for everyday wear, because while other waterproof socks are on the market, they are made for one-purpose use, like high-performance activities, rather than being worn every single day. To make my product, I had to think about what materials I could use to make it waterproof and comfortable. Originally, I thought about nylon, but then I realized that nylon is actually not 100% waterproof, and it also makes sound when you're walking. Merino wool is also comfortable, and I pay 80 cents for the raw yarn of it, with $3 in total for manufacturing. Merino wool is actually more breathable than cotton, and it also prevents odor retention. In total, I pay $8.80 per pair, and I plan to sell them at $17.99, which would leave me with a 51.06 gross profit margin. I then had to analyze the target market and who I'd be selling to. So my primary target market, who I estimate will take up about 60% of my revenue, are people ages 15 to 35 who enjoy wearing sandals, Crocs, and slides, and they live in areas that will receive rainfall to the point where this actually is an issue to them. My secondary market, which I estimate will take up 30% of my sales, will be people ages 18 to 45 interested in outdoor activities like biking or hiking. And my tertiary market, which will take up the remaining 10%, are children ages 10 to 18 who play youth sports like baseball or football where dirt can be entering their shoes and they want to prevent their socks from getting ruined. There are 4 major competitors currently on the market. which leads to my first competitive advantage, which is affordability. All these other socks are almost $30 or more, and my large gap in affordability will attract more customers. I plan to sell on my website for $17.99, and then after I scale enough, I will move into retailers who I will sell to for $14.99 so they can make their markup. You might be asking yourself, why is my product so much more affordable than all my competitors? And the first reason is because I optionally take a lower profit margin. So while this will require me to create more volume to my break-even point is about $34,000, the lower margin will attract more customers and sales. My product will also be outsourced in Vietnam. Vietnam is known for their apparel manufacturing. And it will also bring down the cost of labor and manufacturing. I also leave myself financial cushion for miscellaneous expenses like marketing or anything unexpected that could come up that require instant liquidity. And I also have improved cash flow because setting money aside helps ensure liquidity, which is essential for financial stability. My second competitive advantage is style, because other brands in the market focus a lot on branding, while I plan to have a more minimalistic and monochromatic look, which allows more versatility and flexibility when being styled. I then had to ask, is this product actually feasible financially and reaching the market? So the first question I asked was, does my product solve the problem? Yes, it provides an everyday, comfortable, and waterproof stylish sock, which is high in demand due to the constant growth of slides and sandals, and it's also more affordable than all my competitors. Have my target markets been analyzed, and are they reachable? As I explained on slide 5. And then, is the product financially feasible? And there's my cost of production. And then the last question I asked myself was, does the product break any health laws, like any skin irritation or anything that would mess with the health of the person wearing them? And no skin irritation is caused by the materials that I use. I then had to ask myself, how am I actually going to reach my customers and how are they going to find out about my product? So displayed on the right is the average cost per click and cost per 1,000 impressions for Instagram, TikTok, and X, which are the 3 largest social media platforms in the United States. So marketing on those platforms are fairly cheap. And then after I expand enough online, I plan to move into retailers where I can sell at select retailers like Dick's, Sierra Outdoors, Target, Walmart. Patentability. So there are 2 patents currently issued that have similar features as my product. So the one on the top is a shoe with stiffness, which is membrane-based, and has a tightening system. So it's designed to be sturdy and shaped. It's more like footwear rather than an actual sock. And the one on the bottom uses EPTFE, which is strong and lightweight and flexible, but it's also more of a shoe insert rather than a sock. This leads to my final question. Are you ready to stay dry and step confident? Thank you. Any questions?
Great job. As
Thank
somebody who runs outside, I hate having wet socks. Yeah. At any rate, your costs, you said you were going to outsource to Vietnam, and you have a pretty good, you had a nice spreadsheet with your costs. Did those costs include the tariffs that have been?
Yeah, so one of the reasons I actually picked Vietnam is because President Trump is actually close to reaching a trade agreement with Vietnam, which would lower the tariffs, and he's more concerned about other countries than Vietnam. But also, Vietnam is also renowned for their manufacturing of apparel. So, yes, thank you. Great question.
Would your socks prevent the feet from breathing? Like if someone has sweaty feet, asking for a friend?
Yeah, so very glad you asked that. It's pretty relatable. But so while neoprene is thick enough to the point where water can't pass through the body, it's thin enough to the point where odor and sweat can still evaporate through the top of the sock. And as I said, the merino wool is actually very good at limiting odor retention, and it's very breathable. It's more breathable than cotton. Thank you.
Do you have a specific prototype? And if you do, are you wearing them right now?
I wish. So unfortunately, I was not able to make a prototype on such short notice for this competition, but I have purchased neoprene and merino wool, and I've ran experiments under the sink and in certain wet conditions, and the water does not pass through the neoprene. Thank you.
Great job. As someone else who also runs, one of my questions is, do these socks fit in sneakers? Or would I have to like size up my sneaker to get the sock to fit in?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the neoprene that I plan to sell will be about 1/2 millimeter wide, which on the merino wool sock, which is also less than 1/2 millimeter wide, when sewn together and manufactured properly, they should be able to fit into your normal shoe size. Any other questions? Thank you.
I would like to introduce Hans Patel and his business Tickersphere.
I do. That's what.
I got the exclamation mark.
Hello, judges. My name is Hans Patel. I'm an investing enthusiast and one of the founders of Tickersphere. Meet Captain Cashflow. Her friend tells her about this hot new penny stock that is going to remove all of her student loans. So eagerly, she buys in without doing any research for herself. Just a little problem. She thought APR stands for April and thought that the Roth IRA was a Star Wars character. What could possibly go wrong, right? Well, the next morning, she wakes up to see this. The problem is that financial literacy as a whole can be inaccessible and boring. Also, as we just saw, entering the market without correct education and exposure can lead to severe losses. Also, the current solutions in the market are inefficient and fragmented. Having to toggle through all different websites can be extremely tedious when there's solutions such as Tickersphere out there. Every year, poor financial mistakes cost Americans half a trillion dollars. This is things due to bad investments, impulsive trading, high interest rates. For the most part, factors that can be mitigated through basic financial education. A 13-year-old can also get themselves a brokerage account without being legally taught anything about money. In fact, a 13-year-old is provided legal protection as a juvenile, but the stock market, unfortunately, does not offer the same grace. So here's how we made it. Well, we use React, Tailwind CSS, Supabase, as well as FinHub API to make our platform. So our target market is new and inexperienced investors. So what we found that works best is that teenagers who kind of view investing as a side hobby fit this criteria the best. And it's the same age where they become more and more increasingly interested in the stock market, so it works out in that favor as well. We also love to cater towards clubs, teachers, and organizations, because what we found is that the members and students of the organizations create personal accounts with Tickersphere, therefore increasing the user base. So here's what Future Financials has to say. So Futures Financials is a financial literacy nonprofit centered towards youth. It's actually partnered with Seton Hall University. And they use Tickersphere as actually a fun game at the end of their sessions. And the teachers always tell us how much more they like our platform than some of the alternatives, such as a stock market game in MarketWatch, because of how engaging and interactive it is. So speaking of stock market game and MarketWatch, the problem with them, as well as all of our competitors, is a lack of gamification and interactiveness. And this is a problem given that financial literacy can be somewhat boring. Also, Tickersphere has very simplified education, whereas its competitors either don't have education at all, or it's filled with jargon or technicals that can unnecessarily overwhelm the investor. And overall, Tickersphere just makes the barrier to entry to invest so low and so approachable, and each new member is like a new member to a community rather than just some another person on a platform. So where we are now. So Tickersphere actually won Hackonomics 2024, and we typically are in a lot of high schools, but all of the universities you see in the screen are all partners with us, and they use us in their clubs. So this includes Ohio State, University of Notre Dame, Babson College, Rutgers University, and organizations as well, such as Futures Financials, and we're in talks with a few more organizations that are supposed to close by the end of the year. So how are we going to make money? So since date, Tickersphere has been completely free, meaning if you sign up, you can use all of its access. However, in the next few weeks, we're going to be adding a soft paywall, meaning only the stock analysis, reading the news, and the compete tab will be free. And the premium model, which will be $5 a month or $60 a year, will have all of the free tiers, as well additionally the ability to host your own games, as well as the ability to backtest, which basically means trading on a historical time frame. And the institutional licensing is for organizations, and the price depends based on the number of members there in the organization. So there's only one cost for Tickersphere at the moment, recurring, which is the FinHub API, which is $50 a month. We did have previous costs when we were developing it, such as Bolt. However, since it's already made, the only cost right now is the $50 for FinHub. So that leaves me with only one more question. Who wants to be the hero that stops America from making another billion-dollar financial mistake? Thank you.
Great, great job. As a parent of a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old who had to take financial literacy in high school, and it was so boring. Have you thought about expanding this into other financial literacy types like budgeting and loans and more pragmatic day-to-day things?
Yeah, that's an amazing question, and that's actually the next step that we want to take it as. As I mentioned, this isn't just an investing platform, it's a financial literacy platform. So right now we have education on investing. However, the next logical step is to include everything in finance. So we already work with organization Futures Financials, and they work with another organization called NGPF, which has their own curriculum, which we are going to be using, and that's going to be the next product that we have. It's just going to be education on all types of financial literacy, not just investing.
So have you done some testing on how long people tend to stay on the game and how much, how engaged they are? Do you have some analytics on that?
Are you talking about like the LTV of the product? The LTV, lifetime? Okay, yeah, so the LTV of our product is around 5 months, and we kind of priced our product accordingly. One of my mentors, he owns a venture capital fund, and what he said is to make the ratio of the annual price to the monthly price, add that by 1, and that should be kind of, the ratio of the annual price to your monthly price should be kind of like the LTV. So our annual price is $60 and our monthly price is $5. So our LTV is 12 months.
Cool presentation, cool website. Is there an app too, you said, or is just the...
This is actually just a web app at the moment.
Okay, gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Are you worried that the other apps, the competitors, could easily add a gamification to their app and nullify your advantage?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Are you worried that the competition might gamify their apps too?
Yeah, so that's actually not really an issue because what these bigger companies like Stock Market Game and MarketWatch want to do is they want to create like a one-size-fits-all scenario where they don't want just little kids playing their but they also want like adults playing it. So by specifically targeting it towards youth, that's where like the gamification really comes in. Because if MarketWatch were to gamify their solutions, then they might lose out on like the adult audience and like the more technical audience, because MarketWatch is also a classroom portfolio, but it's also used by professionals as well. So they would lose some market share, which you probably would not like.
Hello, great job. Do you provide a recommended like syllabus of how to work through the games? Like start here, and then once you're good here, move on to the next level or course?
We actually do not. It's we made it so like it's really simplified, so they don't really need that. But basically, there's like buttons that clearly tell you how to do everything, but there's not really like a coursework on like how it works. But yeah.
Really quick, great presentation. I love that you guys have partners already. Is there any fear that the moment that you implement payment to it, that those partners might subside?
Yeah, so that was like one of the main concerns. Like immediately when we were talking about making a pricing strategy, we're thinking about like our already existing customers. However, we reached out to them. We're like, how do you feel about doing this? And what they basically said is they're a little bit resistant at first, of course, since we're charging them. However, their interactiveness and engagement from the students that they have over some of the other companies is greater than the cost that they're paying. So I'll give you an example that one of the high schools that we work with, they had an active member count of 6 when they used MarketWatch. And after they use Tickersphere, they have 120 active members. So it's a really big cause for their jump, and they really appreciate that. So I don't think they would mind. All right, thank you so much, guys.
I would like to introduce Monica Reyna and her business concept, Rate Right.
Good afternoon, judges. My name is Monica Reyna from Jericho High School, and I'm excited to present Rate Right, a kid-powered movie rating app that helps families choose movies faster, easier, and more safely. When I was younger, I loved watching movies, and I still do, but choosing one with my friends and family was always a hassle. We would scroll, watch trailers, and still not know what was actually okay for us to watch. That problem is what inspired me to create Rate Right. Kids spend around 23 minutes on average just trying to pick a movie, and most of the tools they have aren't even designed for kids. First, kids don't have a real voice in movie reviews. All the major review sites are always written by adults. Second, ratings like PG or PG-13 don't give enough information. 2 movies with the same ratings can have totally different experiences. And third, adult review websites often contain spoilers or focus on things children don't care about. Because of this, families waste time, feel confused, and still end up guessing. Rate Right fixes this by giving spoiler-free ratings from real kids. Kids use sliders, emojis, and short words like funny, boring, or too scary to show how the movie experience felt for them. Then AI turns all these kid reactions into quick, simple summaries for parents without spoilers. All accounts are verified, so every rating comes from a real kid in a safe community. Here's a short video of what it might look like. Here's how the app works. First is a discovery phase. Kids sign up with parental approval and every account is verified. Second is the rating phase. Kids rate movies they watch by choosing emojis and adding quick tags. It's fast, easy, and feels natural for younger users. After kids rate movies, RateRight organizes everything. AI gathers all the ratings, sorts them by age, and looks for common reactions. Parents get the average kid rating, the most common reactions, and age-based suggestions. It's clear, simple, and completely spoiler-free. There are over 50 million US families that subscribe to streaming services, and kids influence 80% of family viewing choices. Not only families are our target market, we have teachers in schools, parents, and streaming audiences. Our revenue model is simple and built for families. First, we have our freemium plan. The app is free with ads. This helps us reach a lot of users quickly. Then we have the premium plan. With only 99 cents per month, families can get ad-free viewing, unlimited ratings, and personalized suggestions. Third, we have streaming partnerships. We plan to partner up with streaming services and studios. They benefit from real kid feedback, and we get more visibility on their platforms. And lastly, we have anonymous trend insights. We provide anonymous, safe data about what kids actually enjoy. This helps entertainment companies understand youth audiences better. Common Sense Media is ran by adults and often contains spoilers. Rotten Tomatoes is mainly for critics and adults. But RateRight is kid-led, fast, and spoiler-free, and has a youth perspective on things. Our timeline includes reaching our first big group of users, working with schools, and then expanding to streaming platforms. We plan to expand into TV show ratings, YouTube kid content, and classroom tools for teachers. We want to also add an AI comfort mode that recommends movies based on children's sensitivity and preferences. In the end, choosing a movie shouldn't take forever or feel stressful. With RateRight, kids get a voice, parents get clarity, and families can make decisions quickly. RateRight makes movie night safer, easier, and truly kid-powered. Thank you.
So first of all, great presentation. Love the simplicity of it. The one thing that came to mind is, how do you do verification for kids?
That's a good question. I was planning to do where you have to put 2 emails, your parents and your own email, and then there would be a verification code sent to your parents so that they know that you're using the app, and so it's like totally like parent approved.
Great idea. It works only if kids are participating. They're doing the work for you. So how do you incentivize the kids to contribute? How you need kids to provide to, children to provide their input to your app. So how do you incentivize them to do that?
I think this is a really fun idea. I know my nieces and nephews would be fighting over who got to score first. So is there any competition though, or just like the regular ones that we know about for like adult, like Rotten Tomatoes type of thing?
So two questions. One is, will it do? There are some some platforms that will make recommendations based on what you liked in the past. So, are you planning for your app to do that? Okay, and the other question, and of course now I'm forgetting it. So what is to keep Common Sense Media from launching a kids version or a kids app? How are you going to protect your intellectual property?
I'm Sid Kapoor, and I'd like to introduce our final contestant, Logan Ruskow, and his idea, MoveMate. Good luck.
Good evening, everyone. I would just like to give a huge congratulations to the other competitors. Great presentations, great ideas. I hope you are all successful. Judges, imagine this. You've just moved into a new home. You're excited until you open the door and see a wall of identical boxes staring back at you. One's fragile, one's important, and one has your toothbrush, and you have no idea which is which. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Logan Roscoe, and I'm excited to introduce you to MoveMate, the Intelligent Containment Unit, a smart, modular storage system designed to transform the way people move and organize their belongings. I spent years working in the moving industry and saw the same challenges play out every day. Boxes breaking, bins cracking, and customers' belongings getting damaged. The biggest problem was always the same. No one truly knew what was inside any box. That lack of visibility created stress, confusion, and unnecessary risk. Recognizing the need for both clarity and protection, MoveMate was built to make moving smarter, easier, and far more reliable. Moving and storing belongings has barely changed in decades, but MoveMate is here to disrupt the status quo and innovate the outdated practices. Cardboard boxes are very cost efficient but very low quality. Plastic bins last longer, but they have no innovation. People waste time sorting, opening, and guessing. The process is inefficient, stressful, and often expensive. MoveMate solves this by making storage smart. MoveMate containers are built to last. Durable, modular, weather-resistant, and are padded to protect fragile items. Each one includes an RFID tag or QR code that links to the MoveMate app, giving you instant visibility into what's inside and where it's stored. No searching, no guessing, made from recycled, sustainable plastics with shock-absorbing corners. The containers are stackable, lockable, and reusable for years, unlike cardboard that barely survives a move or two. Here's how it works. You pack your items, snap a photo in the app, and scan the tag, and everything links automatically. When you need something later, the app tells you exactly where it is. MoveMate turns a chaotic process into one that's clear and trackable. Here's the opportunity. Every year, more than 31 million Americans move, fueling a $92 billion industry that's expected to hit $150 billion by 2033. Add an additional $25 billion in the self-storage market and a massive $1.2 trillion in the packaging industry. People are looking for easier, smarter, safer ways to store their stuff. MoveMate is built for exactly that. Our ideal customers include moving and storage companies, renters, college students, downsizing families, and anyone who wants lasting organization instead of clutter. They need protection, clarity, and convenience, and MoveMate delivers all three. Our revenue comes from selling containers in multiple sizes, bundles for home office and specialty moves, subscription suppliers for storage users, DIY movers, and packing teams, premium app features with advanced inventory tools, and branding partnerships with movers, universities, and storage facilities. Why MoveMate wins? Competitors such as Rubbermaid, Trove, and U-Haul all do one thing well, but MoveMate doesn't just use one of these strengths. It combines all of them into one unified intelligent system. MoveMate stays accessible, but with long-term value and reuse that cardboard can't offer. MoveMate is turning regular containers into smart containers, just like how a payphone turned into a smartphone. And now I want to present the power of three. These are the three things MoveMate differentiates itself from its competitors: ultimate visibility, superior protection, and organization as a system. MoveMate isn't just a bin, it's a connected ecosystem. Here are simple financials. Launching MoveMate at a beta level requires an estimated $50,000 to $100,000 for early manufacturing, app development, and initial marketing. These are the estimated yearly projected revenues. As we scale production, container costs drop steadily, improving our margins over time. Why am I the right person to build this? Because I've lived in the same frustrations customers feel: broken boxes, lost items, and the stress of not knowing where anything is. I've also seen these problems from the mover side. I know what people really need, and MoveMate is built to fix those issues in a simple, reliable way. MoveMate takes one of the most universally stressful life experiences, moving and organizing, and makes it simple, traceable, trackable, and stress-free. MoveMate. Protect, track your life, store your world. Thank you for your time. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
I'm in the real estate industry. I also see a lot of very frustrated clients with moving. I love that idea. So are you proposing that maybe a big moving company would just buy 500 of these boxes and then essentially rent them out to the clients for the move?
That is definitely one of the revenue options, was the subscriptions, which was based more on the renting of a consumer using through the business owning the containers. But it doesn't have to be that either. So I'm in the lucky position where I'm already in the industry, and I'm currently working within it. So I see these issues. And so even if it starts small, starting by using it even in a small platform, and then as others see, they want that value too.
Have you had a chance to work on any true prototype, and what would be your plans for actually producing the product? Because everyone has a lot of junk, and when they move, you're going to need a lot of inventory. So what is the plan to try to fulfill those?
Great question. So currently, unfortunately, I have not had the chance to actually work on a prototype. That is definitely something I want to fulfill and propose to do in the future. As for as much junk as people have, my boxes are not a replacement for regular cardboard boxes. My item is supposed to add on to that moving experience. It is supposed to give options to the consumers for the important things that they want to find. That attic that sits in your junk that you really don't care about, and you don't care if it really breaks or if it's handled nicely, can still probably go in a regular cardboard box. But my bins are there for the people that do care and want to have access to certain things during the moving process.
For tracking, will you be able to see a box is in my basement or my attic, or is it just like an Apple iPhone saying this is the address it's at?
The hopes is that you would be able to see the exact location. Also very directed towards warehouses. If your items are sitting in a warehouse and you need access to it, during the moving process, or even if it's in a truck, it tells you exactly where that is, and then you simply scan the box and it will tell you what is inside that box. So that way you don't have to open it and go through searching. Any other questions?
I'm just thinking, if I were to move and I had a million cardboard boxes, but I'm, let's say, moving on my own, I'm not using a moving company, and then I go and buy all of your boxes, can I rent them and not buy them?
I'm sure that should be a good idea. So the idea is with the subscriptions, so there is a part I mentioned bundles for home, office, and specialty moves, and subscription supplies for storage users and DIY movers and package teams. So the idea is that they should be able to do that, because sometimes people will have a certain amount of boxes, but you don't want to keep them because they're very big and can get cluttered. For simple moves like an office move, if that's in your work to a new workplace, that'd be very simple. You get that office bundle and you move from there to there, and then you just return them. Thank you, guys.
That concludes our presentations, everyone was fabulous. If this is what you're doing in high school, I can't wait to see what you're going to do in college and beyond. So now we're going to have our Audience Choice Award. I'd like to introduce Quinn to you, if I haven't already. And Quinn is going to tell you about the Audience Choice Award. We're only going to leave it up for 5 minutes exactly. 1 vote per cell phone. And it's open to our live stream audience. And then afterwards, we're going to take a 15-minute break, and then we will return and we'll have the decisions, about 15, 20 minutes. So thank you. So judges, you can all go off. And here's Quinn.
Guys, those were some of the most awesome presentations I've ever seen, including the ones I've seen here at school. So great job. So like Susan said, we're just going to take the next few minutes to vote for your favorite pitch. Feel free to vote for yourself. I would do that. So yeah, just take the next few minutes. And also, as Susan said, please only vote one time. Just as a, oh my gosh, sorry. Just as a PSA, I can see when people have over 100 votes. That is a little bit suspicious, so just wanted to. Yeah, I would say actually at this point, seems like everybody's doing that, so whoever can submit the most will win. I mean, yeah, because I can't even tell anymore because everyone submitted like 100. They just keep submitting. I know, I'll talk to Susan and we'll figure out something more fair. So like I said, I asked that everyone submit 1 vote per person, but that did not happen, so we will have to do this another way, I guess. No, yeah, I'm actually just gonna talk with you guys and we'll choose. Because
Thank you for keeping us all in order, too. Oh, yeah. Yes, thank you. I like looking at the computer way better than that.
Really?
This is
Also, your presentation was great. You brought the energy to that one. That was awesome.
Nice.
Good. Nice job. Did you get a chance to get some food? I did, yeah. I didn't even get to talk to you guys yet. So you were the first work study. You should be thanking me. I was gonna.
No, she was. She was like a mom. Like I liked it, you know, because she would yell at me, but I'm like, I know she loves me. It's okay. Yeah, I'm sure.
Although it is funny, my kids are like, stop yelling at me. I'm like,
Yeah. I know, right?
Probably just somebody who's always so nice that when you're not overly
Yeah. She was in that.
She said to tell you that she sent you a text.
But she should be able to. Oh, wait, are we supposed to have 3?
No, no.
Oh, no, now, sorry, now I'm getting that one. Okay.
First and second and audience choice, but then we also have.
Okay, so
Did she tell you who the audience choice is?
Like sharing drinks with your girlfriends, like.
It wasn't like it just wasn't.
Yeah.
So I think she probably wants me to do
Yeah.
choice first, and then
Yes.
first. That's from it.
Yeah.
And I hope last year when we had Robin mentioned she took it with that person $100. I don't know if she's doing it this time.
Dean Strouser, do you know how to get this back into present mode? I haven't really used PowerPoint. Do you know how to get this back into present mode? I never use PowerPoint. I always use slides, so I don't know where the button is.
40 different ways. The easiest way is just to hit the little
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I was gonna say that too. No, I was down at frat parties, drinking at a house. Oh yeah, at Seton Hall, like you go to the. You don't remember that? Somebody would pee in the toilet and somebody would pee in the sink. So that's who like is gonna buy who's gonna yeah, right here. Well, Mexico, you would never do that. But to like 5 different places, like all around. We didn't go to the Oh my god, yeah. There was so many. People were like
I'm gonna get a number. I can't read from my phone.
Wait.
How long have you been teaching here?
That's my 3rd year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is, I'm doing it like the 3rd one I'm saying. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you're going to speak for 2 minutes. That's what I just said. Oh, yeah. No, you're no. And then you go to check first. Yeah, and then you have. What's that? Yes, I do. Yeah. That's why you're deep. Yeah. Let me just ask you one other thing.
Something, yeah.
And if nothing else, you can always be an English teacher. I mean, there's always, they always are looking for that. There's, language schools, always hire.
This one? Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a chance to grab a quick snack while the judges were deliberating. It was a tough decision. It's hard because all of these students are very talented, and we have to judge their ideas, how far along they are in the process, and their presentation. So we had a lively debate, and all the names were surfaced. We talked about the need that the student is trying to satisfy in the marketplace, what value they could create, what the competition was like in their target market, all those elements of a good business idea. And like I said, it was very tough, and we had a number of different rounds, and anyway, you all should be very proud of your students. They are amazing. So can we have a round of applause? So now the moment you've all been waiting for, Dean Strasser is going to give you the results of our deliberations.
Okay, so as I announce each one, what I'll ask you to do is come up, get the check, and come and get a picture with us up here. So we'll start first with our audience choice. So the audience choice winner is Anna Lau for Snugshee. So where do we want to be for a picture? Right here? Oh, we don't have a check.
That's right.
Okay. So Elizabeth wasn't kidding when she said you all were so good. In fact, what our judges decided to do is add a category that we hadn't envisioned, and that is we're giving an honorable mention award. And because we don't have a check to actually give you, the big check that you would take to the bank, obviously, we're just going to tell you that this prize, honorable mention, is a $200 award. And our honorable mention award winner is Monica Reyna for Rate Right. We'll do a picture and we'll pretend to give you a book maybe or something. Okay, our second place runner-up is Justin Deng for ThermoTrack. Okay, and now the moment we're waiting for. Let's do a drum roll. Our first place in the 11th annual Pirates Pitch High School Competition is Samantha Ferrugia for Shield Her.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Crumbs off.
Okay, so all of our finalists, please.
I looked it up on Google. They were like, gum will help calm your nerves.